Tonight, Gloucester and Yardley will talk about their history. A BR green Duchess with the same face like Gloucester, and Victorion and Joe was there by our thing. One day at the Crovan skate works, Yardley the LNER P2 with Gloucester the MS Duchess, they're on the works. They still will worry about something.
Brick, do you think we can be by our survey later?
She said. Not really, said Brick. We think need to get a few days can repair. I think tomorrow can back on survey. And you, I don't know how to say, you need to wait the workman can tell about this.
Yeah,
said Gloucester, but she looked very upset. And Brick know about for Gloucester's face. Is something on your mind, Gloucester? He said.
Well, I'm just worried my sister,
said Gloucester. Brick was confused. You have the sister? He said. No one's the first time that I have the sisters as well, Ellen. And Jill also had her little sister, Carol. And did you have a sister? said Brick.
Yeah,
said Gloucester.
I think she only need to be scrapped.
What was that engine's name? said Brick.
Well, her name is called Alex,
said Gloucester.
She's a BL Duchess like me, but she was painted green.
And this is the story of Gloucester to tell about her sister, Alex.
Well, Alex is actually with me working on the London Midland Scottish Railway,
said Gloucester when it first started.
But she is a different painter. She painted BL green on the livery. And her number was 40125 on her cap, and the British Railway on her back of tender. She liked me working very much indeed. There was.
And Gloucester suddenly stopped. Can't say another word. And what happened? said Brick.
Well, I think she gonna be scrapped,
said Gloucester. She wanted to go into crying. Oh dear, said Brick. I'm sorry to hear that. Before he needed to reply, he needed to settle back to his work, and seemed he already repaired off. A few days later, when Yardley was pulling the express, he felt very miserable. He felt very sorry for Gloucester and his sister wanted to be scrapped. Just then, Victorion arrived with another passenger train in the distance, and she saw how upset her boyfriend.
You okay, Bricky? You look very upset. What's the matter?
And Brick told about for Gloucester, her sister need to be scrapped off nearby for many years ago. I wish I can help Gloucester one time, said Brick.
I think so,
said Victorion. They too felt very sorry to Gloucester. Well, actually, said Brick, do you have know of Alex for the MS Duchess there, Duchess? He said.
No,
said Victorion.
I think Miss Gloucester will tell me about her story, but I can't see her.
Well, said Brick, before he replied, they heard an unfamiliar whistle in the distance.
Whose whistle was that?
said Victorion. I don't know, said Brick, and they soon found out. Pulling into the station was the green MS Duchess, and she had the face is the same look as Gloucester, and had the number of 40125 on her cap, had the British Railway on back her tender. Brick and Victorion were very sure what they would see. Gloucester, said Brick. Is that you? He said.
No, it isn't Gloucester,
said the engine.
My name's Alex. Pleasure to meet you, mister. And who are you two?
She said. Well, my name's Brick, said Brick. Brick Yardley. Pleasure to meet you. And this is my girlfriend, Victorion.
Well, nice to meet you there, Alex,
said Victorion. And suddenly a funnel of Brick Yardley and Victorion's funnels. Wait a second, said Brick. Are you is Gloucester's sister? said Brick.
Indeed I am,
said Alex.
Do you know where she is? Well,
said Victorion.
We're not sure where she was. And I'm sure she was probably in the works.
Alex looked confused.
What do you mean?
She said. Well, said Brick, by that time I've Gloucester pulling the express, we crashed at each other's, and I and Gloucester got on the works on Crovan's gate had been repaired. I soon already repaired, and soon I think Gloucester be today will be repaired, and I sure she will probably reporting of the express from Victorstown. Maybe you can go to there to see her,
Okay,
said Alex, and she puffed away. Soon Alex arrived at the Victorstown station, and she saw what she saw on the opposite of the station. She saw a Elmer's Duchess with the red paint, but she doesn't know who the Duchess was.
I think it was someone or actually Gloucester, I think,
she said, and she popped to the next of that Duchess. Meanwhile, Gloucester and with Joe on the Victorstown station siding, and Joe heard about for Gloucester would be scrapped. She felt very sorry to Gloss,
Well, I'm very sorry,
said Joe.
That's why I feel worried about my little sister Carol.
She said.
But that's why I thought she would die, I think, but she's still alive. Well, I don't understand about the Gloss,
she said.
Well, it's not your fault,
said Gloss, and she looked upset, and before she would reply,
looks like we still meet again there, Gloss,
said Alex. Gloss and Joe were very shocked what they saw.
Sister?
said Gloss.
Is that you?
She said.
Yeah, it was me,
said Alex.
Do you miss me? I thought you scrapped that, sister,
said Gloss.
I miss you so much. I promise you I don't miss you,
said Alex.
And anyway, who's that with you? Oh, that was Joe,
said Gloss.
Joe, this is my sister, Alex. Nice to meet you there, Alex,
said Joe.
Nice to meet you too,
said Alex. A few days later, every angel still know about for Alex still alive. However, when few days later, and Alex found out what's going on for something. Few days later, Alex was reporting a good train from Victorstown to Nafford, and she arrived to the Nafford yard and she saw something of her trucks. And she saw James rushing by with distance, and that made her very shocked.
Okay, that was too very fast,
said Alex. She looked with fear shaking, and she went to the yard to see what's going on. And she saw Victorion, James, and Joe were very furious with their face, with gritting their teeth.
Oh my God,
said Alex.
What's happened to here?
The thing is, said James had been rigged us again, he said crossly.
He almost rigged us over many times,
said Joe.
I also really got a shut of his shine,
said Victorion. Just then, put Yardley steam into the yard in distance. Okay, never mind, guys. So let's not get bombed out what James was doing to you three again. And also, I have got a good idea can teach James back a lesson, said Brick. What is it? said James crossly. And Brick told the plan to the LNER Pacific and the LNER Pacific. Victorion, Alex, and Joel thought that was a good idea.
Well, James had another lesson again,
said Joe smugly.
Now you're saying yes,
said Alex.
Well, what do we do next time?
said Victoria. Not today, said Brick. I feel one day I can do it by myself. I think I will tell you about that situation where I got James. And soon, James got not very unlucky this time, said Brick smugly. And the two LNER P2, they'll make the plan with Alex, the MS Duchess, and Joe to find James to teach the lesson. A few days later, James needed back down for a good train to go to the Wellsford from Brandon Docks. Again, I need to pull in this trust again, said James crossly. But before what she would be doing, and he suddenly doesn't know what there would be someone be watching him in the distance. Oh, here comes James, said Brick.
I think there's gonna be funny about this,
said Alex.
Oh man,
Said Joe.
now I'm gonna make them curious for this. Hey, quiet guys, he's coming,
said Victoria. But James didn't hear them in the distance, and before when he bowed down the trucks, and he suddenly got rickrolled again. You just got
Rickroll, James,
said Brick, Alex, Joe, and Victorion together. James steamed angrily with his good train. One day we got you, Brick, he said crossly. Enjoy yourself of your dick, man, said Brick smugly with his some reason word.
that'll keep you away right there, Brick,
said Joe. Not really, said Brick. I think soon of Alex should be better that time was,
no really, but thanks there, Brick.
said Alex. No problem there, said Brick. So that soon Victorion got better with of I rickrolled to James a second time now.
Yep, thank you, Ricky. I feel better now. Thank you.
And the two NLER P2, they were allowed to James the rickroll with Joe the P1 and Alex the BL Duchess.